What's up, everyone? Welcome to Among the Fence. My name is Aaron. Today we're checking out the new album Stone by the band Baroness. This is the sixth studio album from the Sludge alt progressive band
from Georgia
that formed in 2003. It is also the only album so far not named after a color. Or is it? Hold on. Okay, so apparently Stone is part of the yellow pastel family. So we learn something new every day. And I have only really listened to the Red album from 2007 and their Purple album that came out in 2015. So I had a lot of fun going back and listening to their past stuff and filling out basically all the gaps that I have missed. The Blue album from 2009, it quickly became a favorite. While Purple is still, I don't know, it's just so good. It's a toss-up between Blue or Purple for me. Their last record, Gold and Gray, that came out in 2019. It was all right. It just wasn't as ambitious, or I guess, I don't know, it's so different from all their other albums. I guess it can be considered their most ambitious piece of work yet. But for me, it just, I don't know, it just didn't hit quite as hard. It felt like they were playing a little bit more safe. While the singles on this new one, it seemed like they were going back to their old ways of just having more daring sounds and just different compositions, and it just really piqued my curiosity on this one, so I had to check it out. Stone kicks things off with the song Embers, which is a really pretty acoustic piece that has some kind of dark, dreadful undertones to it. Makes it feel very ominous. And then we have my favorite song on this album, Last Word. It has similar elements to it from songs off of Purple and Blue. It's probably why it just catches my ear a little bit more. The riff and the drums and the intro are super aggressive, while the verses have more chimey, strummed out chords. The chorus was just all right. I mean, compared to what the rest of this song brings, it just wasn't really all that for me. The second time it comes around, though, there's a bigger wall of sound, helps it out quite a bit. I absolutely love the solo in this thing. It's wild. It almost sounds like it's separated from the song, pretty much due to the mix. It almost sounds like the song is like a backtrack and there's somebody else playing a guitar solo over it, if that really makes sense. And I just enjoyed how different it sounded, and just how it was just a different approach to just playing the guitar, specifically within this kind of music realm. It didn't really fit the song all that well, but it did at the same time, which I don't know, the creativity in it was great, and the mixing they did on it was fantastic. And also another thing that stood out to me a lot is the outro in the song is completely improvised. Beneath the Rose has a riff that reminds me a lot of Mastodon, and that just becomes more reinforced as my brain as the lead guitar joins in. It's a chug fest that builds all the way up to the pre-chorus, while the chorus is a lot less aggressive due to the open drums and open guitar chords. It's got some post-hardcore influences that I enjoyed a lot. This all makes for a very interesting journey, to say the least. And then we have Anodyne, which has like an early 2000s kind of riff in the intro, while the main riff feels like it's just really connected to Beneath the Rose. Just has a little bit more of a grunge feel to it, which makes the vocals basically carry all of the melody within the song and all the dynamics. Choir is probably the weirdest song on this album. It keeps the palm muted guitar chugs going from Beneath the Rose. Baisley's vocals are really low, and it's got a strong echo in it that makes it feel very haunting, especially mixed along with the Western style shoegaze guitar playing. It's a pretty trippy song. It's got really unique transitions that are all pieced together seamlessly. You don't even realize that it's going from different sections. It just does it so smoothly. And then we have the Dirge, which is a interlude-ish kind of piece. It reminds me of something that, like, I don't know, like Pink Floyd's Pigs on the Wing, maybe, lyrically and musically. I really like how this song joins the first half and the back half of the album. And then we have another one of my favorites, which is Shine. It's a wonderful ballad kind of acoustic intro that ends rather quickly. I absolutely love the riff progression and the verses as it leads to this just absolutely huge chorus. The bridge is blissful as it brings back that intro kind of guitar piece with post-style drum work. The aggression from the vocals make for a great contrast, specifically within the bridge and just finishing off this entire song. Magnolia is the longest song on this album, coming in at 7 3/4 minutes. It too has a ballady kind of quality to it. It sounds like they're using a slide guitar or maybe a steel guitar to complement the vocal melody. And then there's another Mastodon riff that erupts and basically just takes over the song. The lyrics are pretty theatrical, as are the vocals, and it has some of my favorite musical performances that really peak in the bridge. Musically, this is probably my favorite part of this entire album. There's a lot of transitions, a lot of different sections. This one was probably a song that kept me guessing the most. Then we have Under the Wheel, which has a really cool vocal presence with a pulsing guitar. The second guitar joins in, and it just makes the song sound so much darker when that lead guitar comes in. The vocals in the chorus are pushed to a breakup that has a great emotion, especially mixed with the music. And I would say this is probably vocally the most aggressive song on this album. Bloom brings everything back around again to the intro song. Again, reminds me a lot of like Pink Floyd's Pigs on the Wings Part 1 and 2. Because of that, I feel like it completes this album nicely. It feels like there's a beginning, a big old long journey, and then the end. And I enjoyed how they expanded on it. I really liked how it feels like its own song, but you could definitely feel like, I don't know, there's peace about this. There's closure within it, and it feels like, you know, we're starting where we began, which is kind of a cool thing. This might be my new favorite album from Baroness. It's just so cohesive. While basically every song is so weird and is so different from the last, it still fits together really well. If not musically, then lyrically. If not lyrically, then vocally. It's got all the elements that I enjoyed from their past albums, and they piece it all together just so well. It feels like it's definitely got a start, and then it definitely has an end to it, and it doesn't sound like any of the past albums, if that makes sense. It doesn't sound like they're trying to make another Purple album or another Red or Blue or Yellow. It sounds like they just know what they liked from those. They know what they wanted to use, and they knew how they wanted to expand on that and to evolve it more, which is exactly what I feel like a band should be doing. And this feels like the perfect progression and the perfect direction that this band could possibly go in as well. Also, I gotta say, Gina Gleason is just absolutely killing it. I feel like she found her identity in this album, whereas Golden Gray, you could tell she was definitely new. Her chemistry with the band wasn't quite there, where now her guitar playing is more of a centerpiece. Her vocal performance complements everything so well, adds so much more depth to it. She's such a phenomenal guitar player. But I feel like she had to really find her fitting within this band's sound, like almost anybody probably would, because they're just so different. And now she's just so different with them. And I feel like she really, really added a lot to it with the guitar solos, the different riffs. Even though the riffs I mentioned sound a lot like Mastodon in a sense, again, it doesn't sound like they're ripped off in any sense. It's just kind of what it reminded me of. And also, while the riffs are kind of similar, they definitely have their own identity to them as well. So yeah, I mean, you could argue that some of the riffs sound the same, but at the same time, to me, I felt like they stuck out, especially mixed with all the other music. So with all that said, I gotta give Stone by Baroness a 8.3 out of 10. But I want to know what you guys think. I feel like this album is going to be pretty loved by most fans. But anyways, leave a comment below letting me know what you thought of Stone. Let me know what you'd rate it, what your favorite song is. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a like. Helps me out so much with YouTube's algorithm. And if you want to help support me and my channel, please consider subscribing and ringing the bell icon, doing all that stuff. Just helps me out tremendously, and I appreciate it more than you guys could ever imagine. I appreciate you more than you could ever imagine. And I hope you guys have a good rest of your day or night, whenever you happen to be watching this, and I will talk to you guys next time.